Guess what time it is? It's finally time to go pick up my new Permobil F3. It's been delivered to the DME and I'm about to go pick it up. Yeah. I look terrible. I'm so tired. Anyways, hopefully everything on it was ordered correctly. We're gonna head over there and pick it up. They wanted to do a delivery, but scheduling and stuff, whatever. I'd just rather go to their facility, pick the thing up. I'm not worried about them trying to adjust it because I have to have everything adjusted really particularly and down to like a ½ inch for placement of cushion and side guards and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna pick it up, take care of all that stuff on my own. That way we're not wasting their time because, you know, if they make adjustments, I'll just have to do it myself. I'm not supposed to film at the DME, so I'm not gonna do that. But the plan is we're gonna run over there, pick that thing up, bring it back here and take a look at it. I'm really excited. It's been 2 years, roughly, since I started the process of getting a new chair. The Quantum Forefront was somewhere there in the middle in that whole ordeal, which, if you're new or you haven't heard about that, there's a bunch of videos you can watch on various playlists. I'll talk about that later, but anyways. I think we're finally at the end of this insane process. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. Let's go grab this thing. So just picked up my new Permobil. I went to operate the lift and a bunch of sparks came flying out of this hole. That's no good. And a puff of smoke as well. Don't see any obvious signs of burning. Those don't seem to be loose. Well, I guess we'll try that again. Oh, old coffee. Really, really old coffee. Ugh. All right, here we go. Oh. Oh. Okay, it's just a loose connection. It's that top connection right there. All right, cool. Man, that freaked me out for a minute. All right, there appears to be a brand new Permobil F3 behind me, and it smells like brand new wheelchair in here. Although I will admit I don't know what that smells like. It smells like new plastics and fabric, so yeah. There was one small thing omitted with the armrest. I think we can get it taken care of though locally with one of the reps, but yeah, let me get this thing out of here, and we got some adjustments to make on it. Welcome to the front porch. So, it's been an interesting 2 years, but I finally have a new power chair. There was the Quantum Forefront in the middle there somewhere, and all of its problems, but anyways, check it out. We've got an F3. Ta-da! So, this one was actually built for me. We've got an ADI backrest. It's a pretty deep wraparound. We've got the ride forward cushion, which is Ride's version of the, well, it's not a custom cushion, but it's similar to their custom molded ones in the way that it kind of holds your hips in place. We've got the lighting package on here. I wound up ordering this chair with the seat lift. I had to pay for that myself. It was $1,500, but I figured that's kind of an indispensable thing to have, and well, yeah, whatever. We have the single power leg rests. These are not the dual power ones. I forget what they call them exactly. These seem to fit well enough. I can get my feet out straight and my legs are straight enough to work okay. I was thinking I might have to swap over the dual power leg rests from my other chair, but I think this will be good enough for now. I've got the body point rubber dome joystick knob on here. The ICS toggles that stick up. These are easier for me to use. And I had them put the F5 tires on here. So these are the aggressive tread tires. They're a tiny bit wider than the stock ones, although the measurements on the same still say 3.0 by 8. But the foam compound in these seems to be a bit softer than the Primo Power Tracks, or whichever ones they normally use on power chairs. Plus these ones say Permobil right on the side of them. So it leads me to believe it's some sort of custom foam arrangement maybe. But it's interesting, they've got these little fenders on the back casters now. Usually anything attached to your back casters, as careful as you are, you still kind of hit walls. So it'll be interesting to see how long these things stay attached. They are inside of this arm, but there's a lot of occasions on a daily basis where my casters hit things. They're held on with a couple of screws here. Looks like they are somewhat adjustable, but yeah, so anyways, we'll see. As far as the lighting package goes, we've got the red lights in the back here, and then there's our hazard lights. They have kind of a cool animation to them. The one thing I discovered though that kind of sucks is you can't have the headlights and the hazard lights on at the same time. So if I just turn off the hazards, watch, they turn off and then the headlights come back on. But as soon as I hit the hazards, just those come on. These are really bright at night. I don't know if you can see how much light that's casting out. So it'd be really handy if you're on a roadway or a bike path, crossing the street, stuff like that at night. Because, I mean, look at all that light coming out of here. It would be cool if the headlights could be on at the same time. I don't know if there's a way to fix that. Fix, modify, whatever. But anyways, good enough for now. So I'll turn those all off. There's a lot more plastics on these chairs than there used to be. I did notice another friend recently got a brand new M3, and he has these color accents. But if you notice, these, oh, well, there you go. They're not attached very well. They just use sort of a pin that goes into a rubber grommet to hold them in place. So as you can see, those just kind of come right off. I think for that, what I'm going to do is just use some like Scotch or 3M mounting tape and stick those on there. And the back, we've got some more accents here. These seem to be, oh, they're attached about the same way. Reflective strip in the back. Our tie-down points right here in the back. Those are still a little buried. So, you know, if you're getting into a van or whatever, the people need to be careful so they don't scratch up things. And to be honest, I could see when you get the hook in here, this getting pulled off pretty easily, you know, if your driver's in a hurry or whatever. And I'm not complaining here. I'm just pointing out things I'm noticing on a brand new chair. I do love the chair. It fits me perfectly. It's awesome to have something that's finally designed for me. This thing holds me in place so that I don't have to constantly be leaning on my elbows. Yeah, I'm kind of in shock that the saga is finally over and I have a chair that's going to be reliable and going to work. As far as the front tie-down points, those are in the same spot that they were before, way up here. So, again, if you're in a transit vehicle or something, it's going to be kind of tricky if someone's in a hurry to get your hook up here. There isn't really too much, I don't think, that they can scratch or break. I mean, these lights are on their own bracket instead of on the fender like they used to do on the old C500s. So that's kind of nice. Seems fairly solid. It's kind of tucked out of the way, so in theory, you shouldn't be hitting it on stuff. Oh, and this chair does have the Permobil Connect module as well. I signed up for that on my phone, and I'm just going to kind of play around with it and see what I think about it. I don't think the GPS tracking and all that's necessary. I mean, just personally, I know where my chair is all the time. I'm usually sitting in it. But I'm going to be adjusting the shocks on this. The foam on the front tires is pretty good. Like I said, it flares out a little bit when I'm sitting in it and hit bumps. The rear is a little stiff at the moment, so I will be adjusting the shocks on this. But yeah, they wound up using the Stealth products, or actually, what do they call it? It's not Body Point. I forget, but we've got the this aftermarket brand of side guards. They're a little bit, maybe a little bit more rigid than the stock Permobil ones, and the padding on them is pretty good. So I got these things on here, and those brackets are really beefy. We've got the slimline retractable joystick mount. It does appear to be made out of metal, but right now this thing kind of flips out of the way really easily. So I'm gonna see, there's some screws underneath here. I think we might be able to adjust the tension on that. But yeah, I mean, overall the thing seems good. Somewhere in the process of ordering this thing, the order form got changed and they gave me the wrong armrest that I need. These are the stock ones. They kind of have the gel, but when combined with this backrest, since it wraps around and these are so wide, the armrests have to be pushed out further than they need to be and makes the chair overall quite a bit wider. So I'm working with them to try and get the armrest conversion kit so we can get the little narrow ones that are sort of the waterfall arrangement. Similar to what I had on my other F3, but yeah, we'll have to get that figured out. Right now, getting through doorways, I have to be a little bit more careful. And also, I just found out when I'm in the van, I can't put my chair right where it needs to be because these armrests are so wide. Oh, and we got the USB charger, of course. So here's the USB charger. They just mounted it under the armrest there. That can be put any number of places. It just attaches to the rails. So, I mean, you could have it here or down here. These are covered by most insurance companies, but you have to ask for them. If your DME doesn't automatically put them on your order, just tell them you want it, and 9 times out of 10, these are going to be covered. They won't cover them after the fact, though. So when the chair is ordered, make sure you mention this. And by the way, that only works when the chair is powered on. It's powered off of the ICS system, which your seating switches here are part of. So if your chair is off, that port's not going to work, just FYI. So there's a lot of investigative vlogging that I need to do with this chair. It does have the new batteries. I did get the new updated VoltPro charger. There was an issue with the joystick ports overheating on these things. I was talking to one of the people at Permobil, and apparently back in March, April, or May, somewhere in there, they got the problem sorted out. It turns out that the chargers they were using, or the vendor they were getting the chargers from, the connectors themselves were not, well, they were technically rated for 10 amps, but just 10 amps. And you usually want to leave a buffer zone of like 25, 30%, something like that when you're running electrical stuff like this. So those connectors were getting hot and kind of melting some of this plastic in here. A lot of the DMEs didn't realize that was the problem, so they just replaced joysticks, maybe replaced the charger with the same old one. So if you're having a problem with your joystick port getting hot, or you're having trouble unplugging it, or this comes apart at all, contact Permobil Tech directly. Got some contact information for them down below in the description. But contact them directly, tell them what's going on, that it's overheating, things are melting, whatever, and then they will be able to contact your DME and get things sorted out. So anyways, I do plan to take apart a lot of this stuff, see what they've changed with the ICS. I'm curious with the lighting control system because the lights fade on and off and they seem to be animated. I want to take a look at the lighting controller in there. And then also, we're going to be looking at the VoltPro system because I'm pretty sure they've got some sort of authentication right now where when you plug in the charger talks with the batteries and then says, okay, these are the correct ones, and it'll start spitting out 10 amps. If you just plug that charger into any other chair, to my understanding, it'll only charge at 8 amps. So I think that system's actually pretty simple, and we're going to be able to use the oscilloscope and maybe the function generator that someone sent me recently to investigate that. I'm assuming there's just like a power pulse when the charger gets plugged in. I'm assuming that inside the batteries they have a little circuit board. As soon as power is applied, I think it probably just blinks the power or shorts a couple pins or does something to tell the charger, hey, you're good to work. But anyways, we'll investigate all that later. For right now though, I'm super happy. Got a chair that fits me good. Still in the process of getting stuff packed up and moved. We still have the bus parked out there. So I've got a lot of stuff to do in the next 21 days. So I'm gonna start looking at this thing as I have time and get some more, I don't know, I'm just always curious to see the changes. I want to set these two chairs side by side and look at the differences between them. The motors do sound a little bit different on these, and they seem to have a little more torque. Now, I don't know if that's because my old F3 that came from a dumpster may not have had brand new motors or maybe a different kind, I don't know exactly, but there seems to be some updates and improvements, and I want to investigate them. So anyways, I'm gonna get out of this folding chair and hop back into this thing. Ugh, the mold smell. I can't turn on a a lot of the lights in the house right now because either the light switches or the fixtures start arcing or making sounds and electrical noises or flickering and stuff. So I figured outside on the front porch was probably a good spot with enough lighting to film a very dark colored chair. Oh, by the way, the color scheme on this one is called Midnight. It's sort of a gloss black on matte black finish. I know it's going to show the dust and dirt quite a bit, but I don't know. I mean, this is okay. This one's like, you know, got some blue accents or whatever, but I just prefer to go low key. I'm not a huge fan of having the, you know, the bright colors. I mean, I don't think they're bad. Just for me, I would rather not stand out from across the street in a super bright colored thing. I just, yeah, sort of the 20/20 thing, 20 feet or 20 miles an hour. They can see, oh yeah, there's a guy in a wheelchair, whatever. But if it was some bright color, they might stare a little more, and I have an issue with people staring that for some reason I can't stop being annoyed by. So in this case, yeah, okay, a guy in a chair. If they get a little closer, they're like, oh, that thing's really cool. So anyways. All right, well, I'm not sure what I'm up to right now. I got to do some more stuff with the bus and packing some more things in here. I'm gonna see about getting some help to load up the dumpster that's supposed to be delivered in the morning. But yeah, there you go. Quick little video. I've got a new chair. I think this will finally conclude the new chair series. I think this is video 9 in that series. But, oh yeah, so it was June of 2019 is when I first decided to start the process and get a new chair. I think that took maybe 6-8 months to get the original chair. Then I had that one for about a year. They replaced it once. They replaced the motors a whole bunch of times. That Quantum Forefront was a whole other thing. You can look in this playlist for the new chair series. And there's a lot of stuff on this channel about my issues with the Forefront. Build quality and all that. Like someone was telling me yesterday, it's best not to start with a brand new product. Like when they come out with new cars or new designs or whatever, let them get a couple generations into it before you jump into it. Because, you know, if they're using new technology or trying new things out, there's probably going to be some bugs. And, well, lo and behold, Quantum has the Forefront 2 now. I don't know if it's any better. It's still a Pride product, which I'm not the biggest fan of at this point from my personal experiences and in my opinion. But, you know, I should have stuck with Permobil. I just wanted to try something different. The Forefront looked new and exciting, and I was like, oh, let's try something new. And in hindsight, I realized a mobility device is not something you want to do that with. I've been using this dumpster chair for a while. It served me well. Hasn't helped out my back and everything else, but, you know, it got me by. And I'm thankful that, you know, I have the ability to fix chairs and that I found that thing and was able to get it set up. But anyways, don't screw around with mobility devices. Get something that works well, something that you know, that you've had in the past. And honestly, right now, like, I think the only two brands I personally recommend is Permobil or Amy Systems. All the other stuff out there, you know, obviously you only hear from people that are having problems, but it seems like there's an overwhelming negative response to a lot of the other brands out there with things breaking and whatnot. So I'm going to stick with what I know. I should have done this in the beginning. A bunch of people that I know that work in the industry were like, why are you buying a Quantum? And, you know, my explanation made sense to them. I just want to try something new. You know, I've always had Permobils. They always work. I just want to try something different. But, again, now I realize having something reliable and something that works is probably what you want to do. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in a couple days. I've got some more footage with the bus. Got the oil change in that thing. And I'm going to explain some of my floor plan layout plans for that thing. We need to do some mods to the floor in the front of it. And I'm waiting on a couple of parts to get the hand controls in. Because of lawyers and stuff, I'm not going to be filming how I'm installing the hand controls. Just, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of liability stuff with that. So I'll probably show you once it's complete, but I'm in no way going to do a tutorial or how to install hand controls. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in a few days. Super happy. I'm almost out of this house. I've got a new chair that finally fits me properly, and I know it's going to be reliable. Yeah. I'll see you guys later.